Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to bring you this special bulletin. In an era where it seems like the AAA industry is running out of ideas, we get more and more remakes and remasters and retellings and reboots of entertainment, whether it's video games, TV shows, movies, whatever. Comic books are probably going to be taking this hell. The comic book industry has been resetting their worlds for decades upon decades, but we're going to talk about video games and the wonderful state that reboots and remasters and remakes are taking when the customer, your target audience, simply wants you to take an old, graphically inferior game and make it look really nice and prettier with updated mechanics, leaving the core story of the game intact. The scenes that we've grown to know and love and enjoy, regardless of how juvenile they might be. That's all we want. Keep them all the same, but we keep getting inundated over and over again with one remake after another, censoring key pivotal moments, giving female characters extra clothing while doing absolutely nothing to the male characters. And of course, this was announced recently, the God of War Remake Trilogy. Now, this is a stupid little question coming from, who is this, IGN? That's very easy to answer. Should the God of War Trilogy remake bring back the sex minigames? Yes. Yes, it should. That's the end of the discussion. Period. No ifs, no ands, no buts. Because if you do not do that, then you will have a relatively, I predict, a massive outcry against these remakes. But let's see what IGN has to say to prove their point. The minigames are a relic of their time. Yes, heaven forbid you want to cater to your target demographic, which is, contrary to popular belief, target demographic, especially for the God of War series, young, male, middle-aged, hell, even middle-aged audience. We grew up while playing these games, grew up enjoying these games, and giggling a little bit at, particular funny scenes. What did Kratos do? You know what he did. Last week, after years of hopeful speculation, Sony's Santa Monica studio announced it will be remaking and butchering and bastardizing and censoring the original God of War trilogy. I paraphrase. T.C. Carson, the original voice actor behind Kratos, stepped in front of the camera to reveal that the project is in the very early stages of development and that we'll have to wait a little longer for any of our questions to be answered. And there are a lot of questions. Yes, like how much are you going to censor this game? How much are you going to take out? Will this be a graphical facelift? Just do that. Just do a graphical facelift. A la Blue Point's Demon Souls. Isn't Blue Point the studio that Sony just shut down? Oh dear. Or are we revisiting Greece from the north with the Norse duology's control and overhaul game design? Why not? It could go either way. Do whatever you want. Play the game, make the story, keep the story the way it is, and don't censor the funny stuff. If the latter, will Kratos have a companion accompanying him? What? Have a companion accompanying him? No. That takes away from what the original game was. Why would you even suggest that? Will there be... Okay, they're taking the piss. Will there be a blacksmith NPC popping up in expected places to provide armor and weapon upgrades? That would be the most astoundingly moronic thing to do if you're going to just remake, remaster. Make them look pretty. Don't change the game. And what about those sex minigames? Because IGN, we know what they're going to do, IGN. That last one almost sounds like a joke, but fans who've brought them up seem to be deadly serious. You're not going to edit, you better not edit out Aphrodite. Yeah, don't do that. Just don't. Don't ruin it. Right there. Do not censor original material. Do not ruin this. We've seen this time and time and time again, where they take a beloved franchise, an old, classic, beloved game. I said beloved twice. I make no apologies. And they just bastardize it. Some remakes, some remasters come out and they're absolutely fantastic. Beautifully done, correctly done. And others come out with either modern sensibilities taken into account, censorship left, right, and center where it's not necessary, whether the claim is for some sort of age rating or better ease of sale. It's ridiculous. These games were mature when they were released. They can be mature now and you don't have to change anything. But unfortunately, we all know where it's going to go. Fan fixation with these mini games makes sense. Fixation, they're part of the game. That's it. Not just because of the franchise's initial target demographic. They are, for better or worse, as much a part of the Greek saga as the Blades of Chaos, appearing in every mainline title except for Ascension. I wonder how David Jaffe would feel if, when these games come out, these remakes, remasters, whatever they're calling them, when they come out and those extra scenes are completely removed or censored entirely. Censored entirely or removed. Anyway, moving on. I wonder how he's going to feel. He voiced his opinion on the side-scrolling Sons of Sparta, which apparently, according to reports, it's the lowest rated God of War game out there, which might not be saying much. Everybody that bought it on PlayStation is enjoying it, so take that for whatever you will. David Jaffe hates it, had nothing but bad things to say about the game, and that makes me like it even more because I can't stand that prick. I'm a little biased. Anyway, I do wonder how he's going to feel. We're going to keep an eye on that. Even the two handheld games, Chains of Olympus and Ghosts of Sparta, have their own versions of them, one in Attica, while featuring fighting off. I don't know how to talk. How y'all doing, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you for making it this far. Hey, do me a favor, do me a solid, hit that like button. Helps me in the algorithm. Anyway, one in Attica, while fighting off the Persians, and the other at a brothel back in Sparta. There's also a product, here we go. They're also a product of their time. Yet another phrase I'm so sick and tired of hearing. They're a product of their time. Yeah, we know. They were made back then when people wanted to sell video games. Seems to be a growing trend as of late where you're taking attractive characters, mainly female. They're not doing a damn thing to the male characters. They're still big and buff and beautiful. Handsome-looking, strapping lads of man meat. Oh, God, that's going to sound wrong. You know what I mean? That they don't have a problem, never had any sort of difficulty getting the facial scans from the male voice actors into the game. No problem whatsoever. And yet, when it comes to the female characters, all sexuality and attractiveness seems to be just stripped completely from the game, like piranhas on a body. Maybe ants would be a better analogy on that one. Welcome to my brain, ladies and gentlemen. Why is that? Why is this growing trend? So that's why I have absolutely no faith they're going to do these remakes any justice whatsoever when it comes to those particular scenes. Kratos will still look like Kratos, maybe even better for the ladies. And, well, some men. Anyway, but as far as the extra special, saucy, spicy brothel scenes, Kratos going in, you go do a little button mashing, and the nipples are out in force to help Kratos get his health back in the only way they know how. Those scenes, I have no doubt in my mind, are gone. Go ahead and if you enjoyed those scenes, which most of us did growing up, if you know, go back and play the original games. Let's see what excuse they're going to make. When both gamers and game developers were overwhelmingly male. Ladies like to see titties too, yeah. Little, if any, thought was given to the way women were represented. They were prostitutes in the game. Hack and slashers generally relished in all things lewd and bloody and pubescent. But times have since changed. And what is the state of the AAA gaming industry right now? IGN? Huh? What is the current state? When you have the independent scene stomping a mud hole in your ass and walking it dry. How does that feel? When you've taken attractive, fantasy-ridden characters, escapism, power fantasies out of these video games. Nobody has a problem with female protagonists. They have a problem with ugly female protagonists. Stellar Blade was a rather popular game. But of course, I go back to it. They made it fun, and then they put the giggity in there. They're taking the giggity out of modern gamings, most of the AAA industry, taking it out, forgetting about it, and not realizing, but getting little friendly, gentle reminders of who their target demographic is supposed to be. When their games fail or don't meet target expectations, and studio after studio after studio has to get shut down. When you take the giggity out of the game, the customers close their wallets and move on to something else. Times have since changed. Once taken for granted, today the mini games stand out like a sore thumb. Probably like your sore thumb. You look like a sore thumb, probably. They are perhaps the only aspect of the Greek saga. Jesus. The Greek saga I could envision its developers regret adding in. Well, go ask David Jaffe. How about you do that? Go ask the man, the myth, the delusional legend himself. They are perhaps, I read that already. And hence it's unclear whether they will return alongside the toga, the sandals, and Cyclops. Minigames could help convey. Minigames help convey Kratos' downward spiral. They were added because they were cute, beautiful, sexy, and the target demographic absolutely loved it. I'm not reading any more of this slop. You get the idea. IGN, a website dedicated, or supposed to be dedicated to video games, as well, forgetting their target audience, much like the AAA industry. Indie developers are giving us fun games with attractive characters over and over again, or at least not, focusing on the fun first, when the AAA industry is giving us slop after slop after slop, failed slop after slop, underperforming garbage that your audience doesn't want, your paying customer or potential paying customer just isn't remotely interested in, when it all looks the same, plays the same, feels the same, and all the characters look like, I don't know, generic Warrior A, genetic Valkyrie B, with nothing compelling about the characters and the world that they're in. What do you want people to do? We're looking for new and interesting people to play as in these video games, but you're giving us slop after slop, garbage after garbage. So I personally believe you deserve to fail. You get what you fucking deserve. What will happen with the God of War Trilogy remake? I firmly believe, 100% beyond a shadow of a doubt, that these lovely little sexy mini games will either be heavily censored or removed entirely. Instead of going into the brothel, he'll go in and sit down at a banquet and eat a massive banquet to refill his health instead of getting giggity with the prostitutes. But hey, what do I know? Let me know what you think in the comments section down below. Leave a like, leave a dislike, do all those nifty little things that you should be doing. I hope to see you on the next one. Bye.